University, the voice of Reichman University.
The Baseline. Stories from the court with Jonathan Rears and Mayor Cohen.
We're back. The Baseline Podcast, Season 3, Episode 8, with Brandon Bowman from Maccabi Raanana. Thanks for coming, Brandon.
Hey, no problem.
Appreciate
Thanks for having me, man.
I'm going to give a little intro to Brandon. Not so little. The list goes long. So Brandon played at Georgetown for 4 years in Division I basketball, and then he went and played in the D-League at Bakersfield Jam. Then he went to Ignis Novara in Italy, second league. And then he went to Germany, Turkey, Bulgaria, France, Serbia, came over here to Israel for a couple of years, went back to Germany, then he went to New Zealand, Germany again, Cyprus, Belgium, back to Israel for a few years, like 3 years, back to New Zealand for another year, Greece, and then Germany. And then, did I miss any?
Yeah, my Asian stint, the China, the brief time I was in Japan and Korea, but you did a very good job.
There we go.
Hey, call it a vote.
Well, we appreciate it. This is going to be a very interesting pod. We got a vet in the house, and I'm very excited. Let's just get it kicked off.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying the same thing earlier before we started recording, that this is kind of the goal of what we want to hear on this pod. We have a lot of guests here. Everyone has their own story. But from someone who's seen it a lot and seen it, been around the block and really understood what it's been and what it takes to stick around for a long time. So kudos to you. And we're excited to get started. We kind of try and bring it back all the way, talk about kind of, in a linear sense, I guess, running it through college and everything like that. But just, I guess, for you kind of culturally, was, basketball big in your family? Was it something that people around you were doing a lot when you were growing up? Or was it something you just kind of fell in love with along the way?
Wow. Growing up, I loved all the sports. I played all of them. Back when I was a kid, way back when, in the late 80s, early 90s, wow. There were 3 sports back then. It was basketball, baseball, football. So for the most part, I played all 3 of them. I excelled at all 3 of them. My pops, my mother, they let me choose what I wanted to do. And I pretty much found my own lane in each sport. But I don't know. I guess I made up in my mind, like, back then my favorite player was, like, Penny Hardaway. And he really, he was, like, the first point guard since Magic to be, like, really tall and handle the ball and create, shoot, and create for others. He was a facilitator. He had a very high IQ. Wow, and he was cool. So he really helped me gravitate more towards the sport. Then once I started taking it more serious, like around 10, 11, AAU circuit, you start meeting guys, you start playing nationally. Like, I loved it.
So I wanted to ask about that. When you said playing nationally, I saw that you played, early on represented USA back in 2002. Is that correct? And then how did that process go?
Yeah, wow. You did some research. Okay.
Yeah, man, we looked into it.
I was confused for a second. I was like, what is he talking about? After we won the state, it was literally the next day. We won state. I got MVP of the game, by the way.
Dub.
Easy. But the next day, I had to fly to Germany. I got chosen for the Albert Schweitzer tournament, so I represented the United States. We had a solid team. I think only one of them, like, really stuck in the NBA, Ramon Sessions. He was with us. He was young, too. He was, like, the only 15, 16-year-old. But I played in that. That was quite an experience. That was my first international play. I remember we played Israel, we played Spain, we played Australia. Wow. And I remember guys that I played against here. Lior Elial played. Wow.
How were they? Were they any good? Did they get cooked?
I mean, I made first team all tournament.
So they got cooked.
So let's just put it like that. Yeah, let's just put it like that. The first team all tournament was like me, Baby Shaq, Shaq from Maccabi. He was all tournament. Rudy Fernandez was all tournament.
Okay.
maybe the other spot was Andrew Bogut because he played, and I think he was first team, and then like some point guard. But
that was your first overseas kind of experience.
I was 17.
So did that kind of, I mean, obviously there's a lot that happened between then and you going overseas, but a lot of American kids that have no taste of playing overseas at all, and then it seems so alien to them that it's not even something that they can do. Do you think that a little bit gave you like a taste of what it might be like basketball in other countries that maybe later helped you decide that playing overseas is something that you wanted to do?
Listen, it was hoops, so I just showed up. Like, it was always just hoops to me, and I didn't know what I was getting into. I had no idea I would spend this much time. Like, now, like, basically half of my life overseas, literally like 20 years maybe, give or take a few times. But, you know, I didn't know back then the impact this would have on my life. So, you know, I just took it as basketball. I just love playing basketball. So, you know, I didn't know I was going to play against all these future EuroLeague stars or guys that I play against 20 years later, or back then, like, I guess more like 10 years later. But, you know, it was quite an experience. And a country that I played in just as much as here is Germany. So I played 4 years out there. So that was my first experience out there, and I didn't know I was going to be out there so much. But, yeah, I loved it. And I built relationship with the guys. Like, we kept in touch later on in life. So, you know, beyond basketball, I mean, this is kind of like a fraternity on some type of world Illuminati type of level. Like, it's not so secretive, but, you know, you always run into guys that played so-and-so when you can always connect the dots pretty easily, right? So, yeah, it's a lot of that as well.
It's a full circle kind of moment.
Yes. When you're playing in all these leagues, a lot of times you're running into guys that you've seen in other places like that. Like, you'll kind of end up in a league one day and be like, oh, I remember you from the days back in Germany or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, not so much now because everyone's retired. But, I mean, yeah, there's still a couple of guys that, you know, that I still see here and there. Liam O'Reilly for Kiryat I played with in Germany. So seeing him come back was cool. Seeing him, what he's doing, how he's developed over the past few years is very cool.
Shooter.
Yeah, he'll shoot from anywhere.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a F. So he's always had that mentality. That's not new. So as long as I've known him, it seems like he's toned down the shit talking a little bit. I mean, he talked more shit when I played with him. He was hyped up. He was teed up. But, yeah, I mean, I see guys come and go all the time that I played against up to, like, I'd say 1 or 2 years ago, to be honest.
It's super cool because you guys come in overseas, you know, there's some type of, like, brotherhood when you come out here, you know, even if you're on the court, right, playing against each other. Like, you guys are battling on the court, but as soon as the game's over, like, you guys are boys, you know, going to the beach, whether it's hanging out off the court. It's a brotherhood, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and then you build new bonds with players, some stronger than others, but like this season, I built some incredible bonds with some of the guys, and I thoroughly enjoyed every second from this season. We were very sad it was over so soon, but we handled business as much as we wanted to, got the job done. That's how it should be. I want to cherish all these great memories with all these people that I played with, and, you know, keep in touch in the near and long future. I mean, obviously I live here, so, you know, everyone is just a phone call away, a touch away. So, yeah, all of that goes into play as well.
Mm-hmm. And taking it back to the youth ball, in the 90s, what was it like playing AAU ball? Because AAU
it's a shit show
completely became different.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, so can you talk about that a little bit?
It was always competitive, but it wasn't as shiesty, I guess, or advantageous for parents and, you know, boosters and sponsors. And wow, hearing the stories of what's going on, I mean, it makes me scared for my children. It's like, yo, I want you guys kind of like to play in Europe or something, because there's a lot of politics that you don't see behind that. So back when I was playing, you didn't have all that. It was pretty straightforward. You got a bunch of guys, you got the best guys from this area or whatever, whoop-de-whoop, come together and try to play for a championship, see who has the best area. So, you know, growing up, my AAU team, we were one of the best in the country. We reached the finals 3 times out of 4 seasons. So, you know, I saw a lot of hoops from age like 10 to I started high school when I was 13, I think. So 13, 14. I saw a lot of hoops. I saw a lot of players. I still remember seeing like LeBron for the first time when I'm 13. And Andre Iguodala. Wow, I've played against so many guys. Just think of everyone that's from age like 36 up. Like, especially my year. My year was like J.J. Redick, Amari Stoudemire, Carmelo Anthony, Andre Iguodala, Brandon Roy. The list is long. Chris Bosh. All these guys are my year. So I saw them from a young age all the way up to 17, 18 when I played in the Jordan Brand game in college. And wow. So like playing in the 90s, like playing and competing against all those guys, like that's something that you had to bring your A game every day. I mean, it's a little bit different now. Like it's kind of like a show. It's more about what's going on the sidelines more than what's going on the actual court. So, you know, and there wasn't any sitting out. There wasn't any multiple leagues. There wasn't Nike. There wasn't Adidas. There was the AAU Nationals, and then you have a bunch of tournaments here and there.
Right, you could just say it was way more raw, right? Like it was real ball.
Yes.
You know, like that. I think that was the main difference between AAU and high school ball is that you just form a bunch of guys and you play basketball like kind of in the middle of playing at the park and playing like with refs and whatnot.
Yes.
But AAU ball, I mean, you're talking about the legends of the legends out here, and it's super cool. And it is true that AAU has become like a business.
Wow.
Wow, but we do see, like you're saying, the European guys, the way it's built out here is very different, and it goes into the draft, and the colleges now are signing guys from Europe all over. We got the Israelis too, Ron Sieper and Omer Meyer going to LSU and Purdue.
Sure.
I mean, that's very cool for us to see.
Yeah.
But moving even forward, we're gonna talk about Georgetown a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you mentioned J.J. Redick.
Right.
That's not the first time you saw him against him because you saw him again in college when he was playing for Duke. So going to such a storied program like Georgetown, especially a time, you know, early 2000s where you have so much kind of like, I don't know another word, but aura for Georgetown. Like it was an elite basketball place to be.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about kind of that recruitment process because Georgetown's East Coast, right?
Yeah.
And you're a West Coast guy.
Wow, yeah.
So what's the deal with, you know, how did that happen? How did they kind of recruit you? And what was the process to get into Georgetown?
Well, first of all, I was unranked going from my junior year to senior year. So I had some okay moments my junior year. I had some good games, but for the most part, I was just a West Coast guy. Not many teams or people knew about me. I wasn't nationally ranked or anything. Then that summer, I get invited to Nike camp. I have some good games, and everyone starts recruiting me. So one of the first teams that nationally ranked teams that recruited me was Georgetown. Shout out to Ronnie Thompson. He was very pro. He was very pro Brandon Bowman. Let's just put it like that. So he went everywhere I was at. So you know, I noticed that, and I wanted to go to a school that really wanted me, of course. So with the history and the tradition behind a university like this, I think it was a no-brainer. So I went on an unofficial visit when I was 15, and I played with the guys, and I was outstanding. So I really showed out, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna come here. I had made up my mind then, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come here. All my family's from the East Coast, and then you got the stigma from way back in the 90s that West Coast players couldn't play on the East Coast. They were soft. They couldn't handle the contact, so I relished at the opportunity to play in the Big East. Like, what can I say? I never ran away from anything hoop-wise. Like, if it was there in front of me, if I had to run through it, if I had to get there to get to another point that I wanted to get to, that's where I was going. So, you know, I made it a point to come out there and give the best abilities, the best hoops that I got, and get better in the process, right? So, I mean, the Big East had some of the best basketball I'd ever seen. I mean, there was a point where we had 8 teams in the top 25 from the conference. So every night meant something. You're playing against someone every night, literally every night. So you have to like be on your A game, and plus you're competing against guys that are going to your school. You're competing for minutes. Wow. So a school like Georgetown where everyone wanted to go there, everyone had this stigma about it. Like you had to carry it with you wherever you went. So I would go back home. You know, I'm a Hoya at home too. So yeah, I was proud to go there. I had a great time. They showed a lot of love from the moment I stepped through there to the moment I left. I don't regret it at all, on and off the court.
And your freshman year, you played about 23 minutes a game.
Okay.
And
that's it?
Yeah, 23 minutes over here. That's what Pro Baller's saying.
Yeah, but we know that they don't have all the info, so it could be wrong.
Yeah, but you definitely after that. You were scoring 7 points there, and then the rest of your career you were scoring the double digits, 15, 10 points a game. What did you learn from your freshman year specifically going into your second year to be a leader on that team?
Listen, like I was playing against all these older guys who were about 2, 3, 4 years older than me, so I kind of caught an advantage going against them my freshman year, and then my freshman year was also Melo's freshman year, so we played Syracuse. We played Syracuse like 4 or 5 times that season. Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah, like I gotta guard this guy, so that just made me better off top. The flow of the game, the pace of the game, is something I didn't have to get used to because I went to a good high school, so I was okay with that. But the physicality, I wasn't ready for. I was the size of this playing against grown men. So, I mean, the biggest thing that helped me jumping into the next season was the strength, building the strength up in the off season, and how many battles I had been battle tested. So going against everyone else, like it felt much easier to me, much easier. I'm not going to say it's too easy. That would be a lie, but I was able to hold my own more and more each season as the time progressed during the season. So, yeah.
We heard from Abe and Willie as well that your training is like no other. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your training mentality?
That starting college also, it's always been like that?
Nah, like it started being a grown man. I got bullied my first game in Turkey. What's not on there is I was in the NBA for a little bit, so about 4 or 5 months. I went home for about a week or 2, and then I went to Turkey. So my first game in Turkey, I got bullied, and I was not used to that. I had already played in Europe a couple of years. I had just played in Germany the year before and reached the championship. Like, I was established in Europe. People knew who I was, and here I am just I was getting thugged the first game, and I was like, wow, this is not Germany. Like, this is much more physical. Once again, it was a wake-up call for me, and that's really like that game. I was on the bus going back home, going back to our city, and I was like, yo, I think I have to start lifting weights. I said it like jokingly, but the next day I started lifting, and it's been like, it's been 15 years. I've turned it into an obsession.
We heard about the mask that you use.
Yeah, yo, like I used to use this workout mask. I mean, it went beyond just like running. I used it for everything. I basically lived in it for a little bit. I just really wanted to build up my win. Like, I was just doing a lot of dumb shit like that. Like, if I'm not on the court, I'm in the weight room doing something, like, and YouTube has me trying all type of shit. So, yo, and then I think for the most part it's kept me young. It's kept me more in shape, more agile, more mobile, because I want to keep up with everyone that's still doing it. Like, I don't know. I didn't think I would be playing this long, but I am. So
still winning chips too.
Yeah, I guess so, huh? So, yeah, I mean, whatever I used to do, it worked. It got me to this point, and I guess I'm more smart about things now, though. You're not going to catch me doing all that stuff when I was younger. I keep it more simple. So, yeah.
So to take it back a little bit to Georgetown, because I want to hear about it, you were part of, obviously I said before, this like legacy of a school and how amazing it is. But, the beginning years when you were there, you guys weren't as successful as you were later in your last year at the school, going to the Sweet 16. So not only kind of the redevelopment of the program is always there, but like you're getting better as it's going along. But then you kind of are, as John mentioned before, you're becoming kind of a veteran on the team and a leader. And then you have these guys who are coming in, and now all of a sudden you need to be a leader to them. You need to be in charge. Jeff Green, Roy Hibbert, these guys that are showing up at Georgetown. So at what point, maybe your junior year or your senior year, are you kind of like showing up and being this veteran on the team? And when do you understand that that's kind of the role you need to take on, that now you got to teach some other guys?
I mean, we switched coaches after my sophomore year, so JT3 came in. It was a whole different mindset, attitude towards the program. I mean, the morals and the ground rules were the same as Coach Eshrick, because Coach Eshrick also had been at Georgetown for 20, 30 years. He was the head assistant to Big John. So, Craig and JT3, so like their groundwork was the same, their blueprint was the same. So when JT3 came in, he's looking right away to the guys who are experienced, who have been around, to automatically not only teach him, but teach him a little bit of, I guess, the ways of the program. So we had that talk as soon as he came in. There was no waiting, and we got straight to work. For the most part, the young guys that were on the team, they were about the work too. Like, no one had a choice. So everyone was on the same page. Everyone was locked in. There was no difference. There was really no one standing out to the point of being a leader. Everyone was front and full-faced. Like, it was one of those. Like, everyone respected our coach, his coaching staff. And then you got Big John sitting in the corner, who still, at the time, was still running shit. Like, he still ran Georgetown even though he didn't coach. Like, don't get it twisted. He was the man up to his departure. He is that school. So he was there every day. Well, when he wasn't on TNT, when he wasn't commentating, he was there. And they ran that. You weren't allowed to wear like long hair or anything. It had to be cut short, no facial hair. It was wild. It was more like militant than anything, but it built young men. And what can I say? Like, I still use some of those tools today, 20 years later.
Mm-hmm. So what were some of the things, that obviously successful year, you guys beating #1 Duke. So what can you tell us about those times and coming together as a team, and what kind of clicked at the end and that gave you guys all that success and was able to push you guys to a Sweet 16? And what was that experience like playing in the tournament?
My senior year was pretty special because obviously we had the most success. I had been an all Big East player a year or two before that, so I had some personal success, but we had never been to the tournament, bro. So that was big for us, and we put it together during the season. We played Princeton offense. There was no one-on-one. There were no on-ball sets. There were no pick and rolls like that. We played literal Princeton offense, backdoor or a deep three. There's no mid-range. There's no mixing. There's none of that. So we ran that, but we were all athletic, dunking everything, shooting from well beyond the three-point line. It was hard to guard. So by the time we played Duke, we had put it all together. Like, they had no idea what hit them. I mean, we were up by like 20 in the first half. JJ, our coach said the day before the game, he was like, we're going to beat them. I promise you we're going to beat them. He said, JJ might score 40, but we're going to win. And he had like 41, I think.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so and I remember being at the free throw line like, he's about to score 40, but we're about to win. I'm like, he has 40, and we still won. I remember JJ heard me, and he was just like, what the fuck are you talking about, Brandon? You still couldn't guard me? This isn't over. Whoop-de-whoop. I was like, man, we're up. It's over. It's over. And, I mean, that was one of the biggest wins in the school history. That was definitely my biggest win. So winning against a team they said might be the best team ever, I mean, it built our confidence. Like, our swag went through the roof, and we started beating everybody. We had a very good run after that. We might have dropped 1 or 2 games that we shouldn't have, but didn't beat UConn. They were way too deep. Wow, way too deep. 1 through 10 is an NBA, so, like, no one was beating them. But everyone else we gave pretty good games to, or we beat them. And, you know, even the game we lost in the Sweet 16, we were up 10, 11 points with 2 minutes left and lost. Like, we were the only team to have a lead on Florida those 2 years. So a few bad calls, you know, we move on to the Elite Eight. Maybe you're talking about us. Maybe things are different. Maybe all of our stories are a little bit different. But, yeah, it was an elite year. I had a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
What's it like kind of seeing like Jeff and Roy in the NBA, and then seeing also maybe now like JJ Redick coaching the Lakers and what he's doing? What's that like, seeing that like 20 years later? I
mean, well, you're ecstatic. You're proud that the guys that you build hardcore relationships with, that you've been in the trenches with, they succeed at the highest level. I mean, I've always had a smile on my face when I see them on the big screen. Even when they after the year I graduated, they went to the Final Four. Like, you have nothing but love for the guys that are out there that you know that deserve it. So, you know, for years I would see that, and, you know, we're still in touch. I spoke to Jeff very recently. We're both considered ancient, so us old men have to stick together. I haven't spoken to Roy in a few years, but I know he's doing well. There are other guys, that I played against in my pro career that I went to school with, or went to Georgetown after me. There's so many guys I've run across. Right. Even my OGs from when I was young, when they were seniors, like basketball, I'm telling you, it's a fraternity. It's like the Illuminati, but it's no secret. Like, it's out there. You're always going to run into people. It doesn't matter where you are, where you're from. It's quite crazy. It's quite,
brotherhood.
Yes.
For sure. And I'm actually a Boston fan, so I loved Jeff Green growing up.
Okay, yeah.
That was awesome. But coming out of Georgetown, you decided to go to the D-League in the end. What made you leave quickly, and what was actually the D-League like, rather than maybe what you see as the G-League now?
I don't know about now, to be honest, but when I was there, it was pretty cutthroat. It was pretty much everyone for self. The teams that did well were the teams with unselfish players, because obviously this is all a job interview and everyone wants the best possible position, and that means, like, obviously showcasing what you can do every game. So, you know, it was kind of here and there. I mean, hit and miss. I was there for like a little bit the second year, but I didn't want to stay. I knew I didn't. I wanted to start making money, like serious money. I was at A contract. A contract back then was like $24 every 2 weeks, $2,400 every 2 weeks or something. So that wasn't anything. That was Shundava as a studio. So I was like, yo. I told my agent to start looking. At the time, I'm averaging 20-8. The commissioner is saying to me, like, stay, you're about to get called up. Can you give me a guarantee? No, I cannot. Okay, I have an offer on the table in Italy for like $14,000, $15,000 a month. I have never seen that type of money before. Like, you want me to turn that down just for a if or a maybe? I have to go. So I chose to leave, like, early, as you would say. I didn't even wait around. I wasn't playing any waiting games. I wanted to start making money. So my time in the G League, it was cool, but I could have dealt without it. It was obviously just for interview purposes. It was all business. Thank God I was close to the crib so I could drive to and from. That's it. Like, I feel like my pro career started after I left there.
Yeah, and why don't you talk about that, your first year coming out to Italy? What was it like coming overseas, and not like kind of like the G League, but also Georgetown? What was the difference in basketball style?
Okay, so in Georgetown, we had played a few European national teams. Like they're 20 and under, 21 and under. So I was used to that, and plus I had played in this Albert Schweitzer tournament.
Right.
So I had some experience against overseas basketball. But obviously going there, the biggest thing was like the fans. Oh shit, the fans. Back then there weren't any rules of no smoking, so the whole entire arena smells like smoke. The halftime is even worse because no one's watching the game. There's nothing going on, so everyone's smoking. My teammates are smoking in the shower during halftime. I'm just like, yo, everyone's smoking. Like, it makes me want to smoke a cigarette. I had never smoked a cigarette. I still haven't. Like, seeing all you guys do it, it looks so cool. So, but biggest thing for me with that team was I had a true brother on the team already. I went to high school with him. He was one of my best friends, so he was on the team already. His name was Hassan Adams. Our name is Hassan Adams. He was a McDonald's All-American. He got drafted. He went to Arizona, played for New Jersey for a little bit, Toronto. He was overseas at this time, so he was already on the team. So he made it very easy.
What's that like, playing with cigarette smoke in the air?
Like here, it's crazy. You'd think it'd be so normal in here, but it'd be great if we could watch it.
Yo, I saw one highlight of me from that year on the internet. I saw it pretty recently. Like, it was just like a dunk of mine. Like, it was 2 seconds long. But it was from that season, and that was 2007, 2008 or some shit. So that was almost 20 years ago. But the biggest thing for me was after halftime, you can't see the fucking rim.
That's crazy.
No, like seriously, literally, you can't see the rim. Like if it's a 3-pointer, like you gotta wait because you can't see. Like you could shoot an air ball legit.
Wow,
that's wild.
There's that much smoke in there. So
I mean, you're still averaging over 18 points a game there.
This is true. This is very true.
So when you're there, how is the kind of adjustment in play style? Obviously, you said before that it's something you need to get used to when you're playing overseas, and you got to adjust. But how are you able to just show up and put the ball in the rim like that?
It's your job. It's what you chose to do. It's what you work for. So being able to play in any given situation in any country is what's made me special and how I've been able to last or survive so long. So, you know, I used to go to every country with an open mind, and I remember that this country might not be the same as the last, and this country might be the same as the next. So I took all that into accountability, and you know, I just went forward. So at the end of the day, it's basketball. Like, you lace him up, he laces his shoes up the same way. He's got to guard you. You got to guard him and try to get the win, try to make things happen. So, and I like making money. So I'm going to do what needs to be done.
Right. And you're in Italy's second league. So the next year you moved up and you went to Germany's first league.
Yeah.
Did you feel a big difference moving up in those leagues?
Nah, I didn't feel any difference. No, I felt the same. It was, to me, Germany, it was pretty similar to Italy. I mean, in my opinion.
Still cigarettes in the crowd?
Not as much. They were a little more civilized there, so they had a little bit more rules. The rules weren't everywhere yet, so there was no smoking in there, thank God. But there were more Americans, so that made it tougher, obviously. And a lot of big names. You know, that was my first time playing first division somewhere, so I went against a lot of big names and made a name for myself.
So the first 7 teams you're kind of a part of, it's you play a few games here. Sometimes you're playing, 33, 25, 15 games, or even less games. Like in France, you played just a couple, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong. So tell us a little bit about that mindset of someone, maybe like now you have all this experience that you're able to go through it, but as someone who's new to overseas ball, what was that like for you? Was it challenging to kind of have to wake up one place and a couple months later never know where you're going to be, and the bouncing around of it? Was that something that it excites you to be in a new place, or it was something that you dreaded that you had to kind of start over each place you went?
When I was younger, that's something that I didn't mind, and I always loved going to new places. But now, like, I pretty much wanted to stay put. So I didn't want to move too much. It's funny you mentioned France. Like, that was a season I played for 3 teams. I was in 3 different countries. I played for 2 Euro Cup teams, and then I went to Serbia's Super League. So I was in Bulgaria for a little bit, cold, negative, whatever, while, I mean, the basketball was terrible, but we were playing Euro Cup and we were making a lot of money. So it was the typical Eastern Europe scene of back then. When things went south, I left the team. I went to France. I went to Le Mans. So Le Mans was also a Euro Cup team, but I was replacing a player that was injured. So I was there for a 6-week contract. And when it was up, I didn't want to stay. I had an offer in the Serbian Super League, and I wanted to play in that. And I played in that for the rest of the season. The league didn't last that long, but I think I was there for like 2 or 3 months and lost in the playoffs, the semis, to Partizan.
Are you signing all these contracts that like you're able to, leave whenever you'd like? What's the deal when you're signing these contracts and, you got to deal with all the paperwork and stuff like that? Or are you kind of telling them that, hey, I'm happy to play for you, but if something changes, I want to switch, I want to go somewhere else, like you got to give me the freedom to do that?
Listen, like, when you have a good agent, you can pretty much do not whatever you want, but if you want your situation to change, the chances of it happening are higher. And it depends on where you're at, what team you're on, if they're honest, because some of these teams are slimy, grimy, to put it lightly. So, it depends on where you're at, what your winning situation is, because if you're not winning, they might not let you go. Like, what you mean to the team, like what the coach mean, what the coach wants, and all that comes into play. So it can go either way.
You played in France for 6 weeks. You said you had that 6-week contract. Yeah. And you said you wanted to leave right away. What did you say about France? We've had guys who have loved it, and we've had guys who hated it. So what can you say about it?
Well, for me, like, I was replacing a player, so he was coming back. There was no room for me. Like, it didn't matter what I did in practice, in the games. He was only going to play me X amount of minutes, even though, like, I should have played more. Like, it didn't matter. And I had proven myself, so I saw for that situation, I'm getting the max out of it. And I don't know what that means for me next year. So me and my agent decided it was best for me to move. When the player came back that I was replacing, Alan Kofi, that was his name. So when he came back, I knew I was going to be on the bench permanently. So, yeah, I had a very good agent. He found me something the day that my contract was up there, and I ended up in Serbia.
And you never went back to France? Was there anything?
No, not really. Like, I just never went back. There was nothing bad. There was nothing against it. Maybe my coach a little bit, but he wasn't even fucking French. Like,
so. I got you. So you talk about that year, 2010, 2011. You played for 3 different teams, and then the next year you come to Israel, and you actually stay for 2 years. Which this is the first stint overseas that you're staying in one country for more than a year. I
mean, after my season in Rishon, I went to Korea.
Oh, okay.
It's not in there. I went to Korea. I was there for 3 or 4 months, and I got hurt, so I went back home for a little bit. Then I played for Galil, Gilboa.
Right.
And then it didn't work out there. I was trying to go to Netanya, but there were certain rules in play that prevented me from doing so.
So first coming to Israel, like at the beginning,
yes.
What would you like about the league specifically, and then also what'd you like off the court? What'd you like about the country coming? This is back in 2011.
I mean, let me say this first and foremost. That is the year I met my wife. So if I don't acknowledge this first, I might not be able to come home. But honestly, I met her, and I had no idea things would go this way. I had no idea I'd be here. I had no idea we would get together, and that was definitely, we got together a few years later, but like that was definitely one of the highlights of that season. like talking specifically about basketball, wow. Rishon, they treated all of us with love and respect. They're a very good organization, I must say. And then the group of guys that they had, the Americans, we were very dependent on our Americans and a couple of Israelis that played. We made a lot of noise. We made it happen. We were all willing to defer to the next one, depending on what was going on. And we all could score. So back then, that was pretty much hard to guard. And it gave us a lot of success. And we played pretty good defense. Our defense was towards the top of that season, I believe. It was a good season for all of us. We made it click. We had a charismatic coach who wasn't heavy in the X's and O's, but he sure knew how to give hell of a speech. Our assistant was more of the X's and O's guys. It was a good combination. Everything fit together that season, and I think we maximized our potential.
This is one of your best years for a few, not best years, but few teams before that. It wasn't so strong for you, and then you come to Rishon and you're averaging 15 and 8. Yeah. Was there something about the Israeli league that you liked specifically?
It was more. This was the first time in overseas my career, I guess, that I have felt like the basketball was very similar to back home. It was more of an open flow, more of a freestyle. Up to that point, I had played in very organized countries that the coaches demanded they do things their way. So I wasn't used to all the freedom that I had with the ball. Like, I was used to playing a role, and wow, I got here and it was like it wasn't the NBA, but it felt like it had an NBA flow. I have nothing else to compare it to because there's not the basketball here is different. Rest of Europe has caught up a little bit to the Israeli style, Israeli style, but for the most part back then, this was the only country where you can go up and down with it, one-on-one. It was more flashy. It was more like NBA based, like not European based, and I like that. Like that fit me perfectly because I was already kind of playing out of position, so that helped me more with my personal playing and, you know, with the team, what they wanted from me.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I want to hear about, as you spoke before, about Korea and also your stint in New Zealand. I'm like genuinely curious about both of those experiences because you can play a lot in Europe, and as you said, Eastern Europe, it has this kind of sort of vibe, and that's what it's like. But when you're kind of there, you're really on the other side of the world, and especially when you're in Korea, you know, you could be on another planet. So tell me a little bit about the differences between, you know, Europe and then all of a sudden you're in Korea and then also New Zealand because I'm just curious.
Well, where do I start? Korea's, wow. I mean, Korea is a beautiful country as well. I mean, but it's a whole different culture. There's not many of me walking down the street, so I garnered a lot of attention, a lot of autograph signing, a lot of picture taking. But they love their sports there. A very supportive country and what their city does, and they show out every day. I didn't have much personal time there, to be honest. A lot of time was with the team because you can play any day of the week. You can play back-to-backs. You can be going road trips for 1-2 weeks. So I didn't have, and we were really militant. I was on the team with a lot of young guys. These young teams, boy, they're like really like militant in what they do, so they really have to stick by the book, and I did too. So I didn't have much personal time. It was mostly basketball, mostly to myself, being bored, buying things online. It was that vibe.
And then you were saying before that it's kind of like a facility that you're living in, and you're kind of dorming with the other players. Is that the style? And is that something that a little bit of you that was convenient, or that's annoying? You kind of want your own space.
It had its moments where it helped you, and like it had its moments where you didn't care for it. Like they had an elite weight room, so I had access to everything 24/7. So I was in there. I was on the court a lot, and we all lived on the same floor. Like they had roommates, I didn't, so I appreciated that. But not having any free time, it can really mess with your mental. especially when you're in need of it. Excuse me. Especially when you're in need of it, it might be a tough loss. You might have a tough day with teammates, coaches, something. You just want to go somewhere and chill, have a good eat, have a good meal. You can't do any of that. So, yeah, it's something I dealt with. The money was good.
Right. So at this point, you're kind of well into your overseas career, and
Yes.
we kind of ask this question to a lot of guys that are on the pod, but everyone kind of explains that, overseas basketball, obviously the biggest challenge to a lot of people, maybe not everyone, is how you handle yourself off the court, because that's kind of make or break how you're able to survive and adapt. So we've had a lot of guys come in and say culturally you kind of have to just dive into what's going on over there. Otherwise, you might go crazy. So for you personally, was that something you did off the court? You kind of got involved, knew whatever was going on locally and tried to explore the area a little bit? Or are you more locked in on the weight room, as you said, and you're just trying to focus on the next game?
Bro, I lived in the gym. When I wasn't on the court, I was in the weight room. Like, that was it for me for years. I didn't do anything else. Anyone who knows me can tell you this. So up to like last season, this season, it's over for us, but up to this season, I lifted every season. So I had a couple places where I couldn't lift as much as I wanted to, but for the most part, those two pretty much go together, and I'm chilling at home. When you build a routine like that and you stick to it, the discipline, like, it becomes very easy for you. Whenever I go to a new country, I'm like, where's the weight room? Where can I eat? Where's the gym? And boom, I'm set. I'm pretty simple. So I stuck to that recipe for years, and it's gotten me pretty far.
How was the weight room and the food in New Zealand in the middle of the forest?
Oh, it was very good. Oh, wow. They love their breakfast out there. They treat it like it's gourmet. So, wow. I just miss the food. Wow, amazing country. Like, seriously, everyone should take a visit. There's so many things to do out there. Like,
I'd go to New Zealand.
Yeah, down. Let's make it happen.
So
Yeah.
after your 2 years in Israel, also having Korea in that summer, you go to Germany, New Zealand, back to Germany, Cyprus, Belgium, and then you come back to Israel.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to Germany a few times. What was it about Germany that you kept going back? Was it maybe just the contracts that were right at that time, or was there something about Germany that you specifically liked?
I had a lot of success there, so I wanted to make sure I maximize that. And I like the country. I love the country. It's always been good to me on and off the court. But really, like, it's a safe and secure place to play, and you can have a lot of fun doing it. It had evolved pretty much from when I was first there to my last stint there. It had come a long way. Like, the ball have changed there. The type of players they were signing there they were much better, in my opinion. They went for, it seemed like teams and coaches there, they upped their style. And the ones that didn't, they're not coaching anymore out there. They fell off. Like, you got to evolve with the times, and Germany is definitely a country that did that. So I always found myself coming back there or going back there. It wasn't planned, but situations call for it. I would go back. I enjoyed myself. I did what I needed to do. No regrets.
And then eventually you do come back to Israel for 3 years, right? Yeah, Kiryat Gat, Haifa, where you played with Willie and Freddie Bourdion, and Ram also over there.
My boys.
And then you go to Rehovot too. So during those 3 years, is that when you reconvene with your wife and you decide that you want to stay longer in Israel? Is the league specifically something that you liked? What was it about Israel that you stayed for so long?
And also, if I can add, meaning you have this time here in 13-14, then you're coming back closer to 2016-17. So you kind of go and you don't come back for a while and you show up later. Did you see the basketball in the country kind of develop a little bit during that time? Because that was a big time for, Maccabi Tel Aviv and local Israeli basketball. So were there any main things that stood out to you, maybe investment in the game in Israel between your kind of first main stint and your second main stint?
I thought Israel stayed the same. It's just people noticed it and respected it more. For the most part, later on, you start hearing about Israel more and more guys want to go over there, and they're getting higher quality players, and that really drew me back. And then obviously, my girlfriend at the time, my wife, my girlfriend, or whatever, so she was living with me. Like, why not try to go back to Israel so you can be close to your family and we can build something? So we ended up getting married, of course. So we start the citizenship process. So I have to live there. I have to live here. Like, I made that choice. Like, that was my choice. I chose to live here. So, it was imperative for me to try to play here. It was imperative for me to, like, build my portfolio here so I can play as long as I can, because I know I'm getting older. I know, like, the cutoff time for guys is usually around 32, 33 back then, back when I was 32, 33. So, I wanted to keep playing. I tried to stay as much as possible.
And your wife is traveling with you to New Zealand and Greece and Germany.
Yeah, she came. She was with me in New Zealand. Back then we had a son, our firstborn. He was around maybe like 10, 11 months. So he's taking all this in for the first time as well. And she lived with me in Belgium and Cyprus. So she was well accustomed to my ways overseas. She knew what I liked, what I did, what I loved, what I didn't, and we made it work. We had a lot of fun together. And, when we finally moved back here, when I started playing back here, and then we had started our family, like, it felt natural. It was very welcoming to be back here in Israel around all the family.
What's that like having your first son as a baby, 10 months old, in a country that it's not your home, it's not your wife's home? And how does maybe the team help you, or how does that, like, work?
Yeah, I mean, the team, the people around, like, it just depends on where you are. I mean, we were in a place that was caring, loving. New Zealand's a great country. Kiwis are A1 with me. I love them with all my heart, and to this day, I still have a love for a lot of guys over there. A lot of people that I met my family, treated us well, treated us real good. So, it was easy. They made it very easy. I wish everywhere was like that, but you be careful of where you take your family. So obviously the countries that I felt like it was appropriate, we did it. And then there's some places on there that I've been that you didn't name. So, and I would not take my family there. So we're just going to leave it like that.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
So as you've created this entire career and you've done it all and you've been all these places, there's a lot of young people that are playing. For example, we had Jimmy Clark on here a couple months ago, and he just fresh out of college. Like, he came here, he's ready to play. Now he's from Maccabi Tel Aviv. But what are you telling those guys if as someone of your stature had all this experience, and some guys coming over from the NBA or G League or whatever he does right out of college, and what are you telling them? And if you want to have a successful career here, how are you gonna kind of lock in and live this overseas player life? And what advice are you telling them?
Listen, like, here, and I can attest to what I've seen over my career, there are a few places in Europe where it's very hard to lock in. Like, the life outside of basketball is wild. So, if you're not built for it, if you're not mentally strong, you're going to get sucked in by it, and you're not going to perform on the court. So what I would tell young guys is to keep that focus, keep locked in, to keep locked in and not lose the focus, and remember why you're here. Like, you're here to build your portfolio. You're here to make the right business moves. You're here to make more money for your family and for you moving forward. You're supposed to get as much as you can out of this, because, I mean, I don't think European, or not European, but overseas lifestyle, I don't think that's for everyone. I think it's very tough. I think it takes a certain type of player and person. So I wouldn't bank on this for doing it as long as I have. I wouldn't. Like, while you're here, be focused on what you need to do and stay true to yourself. Like, input, output. I always say this to the guys. You get out of it what you put into it. So input, output. Be honest with yourself. Take take a couple mornings, 7 a.m.s to, work on your game. Like, do what needs to be done, not just in practice. So, I mean, not everyone's as lucky as Jimmy, but Jimmy's one hell of a basketball player if you've seen him play. He's doing things on the court that not many point guards were doing here this season. Mm-hmm. He's athletic as I don't know what. I mean, he can score and he can see the floor. So, I mean,
and he could defend.
Yes, and he can defend. I mean, I met him out one night, and he was a good dude. He was very respectable, but, before I met him, I watched him play, and he can play. It's no secret why Maccabi signed him, so, hopefully he can stay focused. Whatever he's doing is working, obviously. So stay locked in, and the younger you are, the better off you are. Like, there's no higher level than EuroLeague. You're there. So now it's about maintaining it and staying there. Like, I don't know him personally like that. I've spoken to him, but this is what I would tell him, and this is what I would tell anyone who was in the situation of being overseas as a young basketball player.
Make sure you take notes. You're hearing it from the
seriously, man. We got some of the next stars around listening to this pod right now, so appreciate it.
That's great. But at 40 years old, Maccabi Raanana, you win the chip, and you're still dunking on people. So I had to bring it up. I mean, you coming down, first of all, as a 4-5 player, bringing the ball up the court at any age is impressive. And then also putting it on someone's head is just as impressive. So doing that at 40 years old.
That's my boy.
Yeah, I saw the little laughs after the dunk. He had to give you his kudos, but it was amazing. You guys had an amazing year. What can you talk about this specific team and what you guys had from a full staff in general? Because you guys really were successful this year.
Shout out to my agent, Roz Gal. He helped put together one hell of a team. Wow, where do I start? I mean, the goal from day one, if anyone can believe me or not, all right, the goal from day one, what we said from day one, like my first conversation with Shy, hey, we're trying to win this in March, April, right? We're trying to get this over with as soon as possible. Yes. Cool. I mean, going on that 16, 17 game winning streak, losing a few games and losing them badly. Like, I thought we handled it quite well because everyone doubted us at this point. Obviously, there was some doubt starting to creep into the team, but we sealed that up right away. We had to realize what we still had, and what we had was a very special squad. Like, I feel like everyone knew how they can contribute in their own unique way, and everyone sacrificed, boy. Like, I'm talking about everyone sacrificed. So I can start off from myself. Like, the year before, I led the league in scoring. So this year, I came off the bench. Like, I didn't even start. I came off the bench. That is something that I embraced from the first conversation I had with Shy and my agent. They both told me, like, I'm probably going to come off the bench. So I'm like, okay, I don't mind. That is not something that is big for me. But I had to sacrifice things that I can do on the court that I've been doing for the betterment of the team. Like, I didn't do much creating with the ball this season. I didn't go one-on-one much this season. I played in the flow of the team. I finished. I scored off of finishes. I'm in the paint. I'm picking and rolling when I need to. I'm spacing the floor. And sometimes I'm clapping and cheering from the bench. Like, all those things are things that everyone had to deal with. And if you look at our team, from everyone that played, like 18 minutes and up, each player had 2 or 3 games where they were heavy contributors and basically won us the game. It was never just one player. So I thought for us that was very special, that we can find it from so many players any given night. And that's what made us so balanced. And Shai knew how to handle that. Liam knew how to handle that. And, Abe, being a young coach, he's learning how to handle that too. He's learning too. So, kudos to those guys, Shai and Liam, for coming in. And shout out to them because they won 2 championships in a row. So they obviously know what they're doing. So, it was a very easy flow for the team this year. All we had to do was stay focused, and for the most part, we did that.
It's amazing. You guys didn't lose a home game either.
Oh, yeah, right.
Which is crazy.
Right.
And I think that it's very cool to see you guys have that goal set. And we spoke to Abe back in November, December,
True, we did.
think. And he was saying it then.
Yeah.
We're
I remember that.
in May now, and you guys are 3 weeks.
We asked him, he said, how are you
already.
feeling? He goes, we're winning the chip.
Yeah,
That's what he
finish
said.
the season. But what's it like when you guys have this goal in mind, right? And a team, you build the chemistry from the first day of practice up until the end, and you have a guy on the team who gets cut, and you have to bring in a new guy with Michael Holyfield, and he's a guy who's not just sitting on the bench. He's going to get minutes. He's going to play. How do you welcome him into the team and tell him, like, we got this goal? Like, not saying, like, don't fuck it up, but, like, get him on board,
Nah, don't fuck it up. We got a goal, and we're close. Nah, shout out to Mike. Listen, like, from what I understand, they had a long conversation with him before he got here, so he understood his role. He understood what he had to do, and I thought he did that for us. He sealed the pain. He was an enforcer, and, this was so big for us. He gave us something that we had not had all season. Like, just the size and the length of him in the paint creates a lot of problems. Like, Jimmy is so long, pause. Like, he's got very long arms, and he can get them everywhere. You think he doesn't? You think he's not going to get a rebound? He gets it. You think he's not going to get his shot off? He gets it off. You think he's not going to get a steal or a block, and he gets it. But at the same time, what Mike brought, you just couldn't teach that. And we all say the same thing. Like, during the Rishon game, the first few minutes, his presence inside gave problems for Rishon, and it pretty much gave us the flow of the game. We were able to get Josh Freund in foul trouble with 2 fouls, and that was big for us because he's such a great player. Like, getting one of their players, they're heavy set on their starters. They all play 30-plus, so getting 16 and 7, 16 and 8 on the bench where he can't get a rhythm is big for us, and that was something that we were missing for most of the season because of his just ginormous presence. So it was easy for him. Workman was more the guy that everyone was like, how are we going to get him in? But when it came to the game, it was quite simple. He's someone that you don't have to talk to. He knows how to play. He's very smart. He's very skilled, and he's been in this league as long as I've been pro. Well, almost, but not quite. But he's someone who's been out here for 100 years, so he knows not only the refs, he knows how to play the game, the ins and outs, what he can get away with, and, he made the most of the minutes that he played for us. And I would say his defense and rebounding and some of the big shots that he hit, I think they sealed the championship for us too. Definitely helped us. Nothing they did hurt us. And like he would say, he was 100% on the season from 3 with us. He was 1 for 1. So
that big shot at the buzzer, I remember that one.
Yes. So, I have nothing love and respect for both of those guys, and I'm glad they came. They helped us.
It's amazing. You have any predictions for the second league champ?
Oh, a lot's tough. Like, they have a legit center in the middle who is a real problem. For second division, that is a big
Right,
plus.
that's huge, yeah.
Yes. And he finishes above the rim. Like, he knows how to finish. That's going to create problems for every team. Even if we were still playing, that would create problems for us. But obviously we have Mike now, or we had Mike at that point. So, but a lot whooped us right after we won the championship. We did not play that game. We did not take a game off. They literally just whooped us.
Right.
I mean,
so you got a lot.
hey, listen, like,
We're only posting it if you're right, so don't worry about it.
Nah, like, I don't know. A lot of Rishon. Like,
Rishon's tough too.
Yes, it depends.
I like Qua. He's good.
Yeah, Quay, like, he's he's had some plays this year. I was just like, yo.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's a good guard.
Yeah,
For sure.
he'll definitely be playing first division next season here, like whether they win or not. He's definitely
he's very good.
yes. So it's either Eli or Rishon.
Okay.
All right, I like it. So I mean, we'll post it either way then, because if they play each other in the chip, then we'll post it.
Hey, look, I rock with guys on both squads. Hell of a player, hella players. Like
Second league's great this year.
yeah, I thought. Look, I haven't. I'll be honest. Like I have never really paid attention to second league out here too much, but the past 2 years, I've been thoroughly impressed with some guys, and I have a lot of respect for some of these cats, and I hope they get the opportunity in first division, like a legit shot. So, yeah, I hope the production can keep going up, and there's no reason why this second division can't be like the best in all of Europe or all of FIBA.
We're excited. I mean, Israel ball, whether it's guys going to college, like we said earlier, or Denny in the NBA, you know, tons of teams are just looking so good, right? The exposure. You said you've been seeing this since 2011, how good the league is here, but now more and more people are seeing it, right? Yeah. Pat Bev coming definitely put Israel on the map a little bit more. People are seeing it, and we're really excited. Like, you got 3 teams almost in the EuroLeague, whether
teams.
Paul Jerusalem might make it. Who knows? They're looking good.
If
but
they ask politely, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm of the team that you got to win to get in, man.
Yo, I'm with you.
Yeah,
Trust me. Like I'm not really rolling with this, but to each his own. If you can get in there, it's just more pub for the country.
Right.
And I'm really interested to see these derby games.
Me too.
I'm really interested. So I want to see how they build their teams next summer or this summer. Wow, soon. Wait. I can't wait to see what happens in first division. Us
too. We're right.
Yeah.
Listen, Hulon's got the 2-0 lead on Herzliya. We're a little shocked by it. But
are you?
A little bit. I mean, I know like Jimmy's gone, right? And Chris Silva and Snead, their 2 most productive players aren't playing. So that's big for them. And Hulon actually is kind of clicking now, finally. Right?
Yeah. There's no time like the present.
Right, exactly. But the Winter League is super fascinating, and I'm very excited, just as much as the NBA playoffs, which are also huge. But as we wrap up our episodes, we do a little segment. We call it the shot clock. We'll put up 24 seconds and just rapid fire questions and answers. All right, you ready, Mayor?
I'm ready.
You ready, Brandon?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Country with the best food.
Italy.
Country with the worst food.
Korea.
Winter League or NBA playoffs?
NBA playoffs.
Favorite training, like workout?
Legs, squats, power clean.
Get a steal or hit a 3?
Both.
LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan.
Favorite basketball movie?
He got game.
Favorite basketball sneaker?
Space Jams.
All right, there you go.
You can't
I
be
fucked
fucking
it
up,
up,
man. You guys got no time for that. Yeah, but I'm just gonna say we appreciate you coming on. That was a lot of great insight, and we just appreciate it to hear from you. And obviously you're looking forward to been a lot of great gems. And thank you for coming on today.
And by
it was fascinating.
Appreciate it, bro.
Thank you for having me.